Hello, and welcome to a special episode of All Five Rounds. My name is Kyle Keefe, and I am joined by my co-host, as always, Daren Loucks. And today we are going to break down the main card, or kind of just preview the main card of UFC 230, Saturday's card in New York. We got we have an interesting card. We have some middleweight fights, kind of overloaded with middleweight fights for some odd reason. And obviously, there's a lot to talk about with this heavyweight title fight between Daniel Cormier. A lot of people think it's pretty crazy for Derek Lewis to even have a chance in this fight, or that he got the fight at all. But before that, I think we'll just start with the Derek Brunson Israel Adesanya middleweight fight. And I know that a lot of folks think that Israel Adesanya does well. He's going to get himself a title shot with the win over Derek Brunson, and I don't necessarily agree with that. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, I mean, you can't go wrong with the guy's record, right? Like he's 14-0. Um, and I mean, he's an accurate striker. Um, you know, will he? I mean, he defends takedowns well too. So, I mean, maybe you can make a justification for it. Middleweights aren't really, it's not really a huge, deep division like it used to be. Um, So, I mean, if they're looking for the next up and comer to, get some fresh blood in there, okay, I can see that. We'll see how that goes, though. I don't know. You think he's got a shot at the middleweight title if he does get one?
I don't think Derek Brunson's a type of caliber opponent that anybody beats and then goes to immediate title shot. He's just not
Sorry,
that.
I meant Israel.
Oh yeah, Adesanya. I don't think he's there yet. And that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I'm saying if Israel Adesanya beats Brunson, I don't think it's enough to give Adesanya a shot at that title.
yeah,
Now the thing is, the UFC obviously loves this guy, and there's a lot to like about him. He's intelligent, he's well read, he's well spoken, he's entertaining, he's original to some extent, and I love guys that step in the octagon and drop their hands like that. I love it. It just, for me, it just makes it so much more entertaining. He's got
yeah.
that insane reach.
He
Um,
does.
and I know I was watching Embedded, and he was, they're walking around MSG and they're on the Knicks court, and someone tried to throw him a basketball, and he's like, no, 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 it's not my sport. Like he has no athletic ability outside of fighting, which is funny, but he can dunk. And
What?
yeah, oh yeah, like crazy. And but he can't shoot a basketball. He can't hit a free throw to save his life. One of those
Right.
guys that used to drive us crazy back in the day. But
Yeah.
oh, just thinking about it drives me just crazy now. But yeah, I like him, and I think he's really entertaining. He's definitely like a main event worthy fighter, like on a fight night card for sure. And
Sure.
the UFC, I mean, now Adesanya says he wants Robert Whitaker if
Yeah.
wins this fight. Do you think? Because I was thinking about this. Robert Whitaker is going to be fighting Gastelum. Do you think that maybe not Whitaker if Whitaker beats Gastelum, but do you think maybe if Adesanya get the loser of that fight?
I'd be all right with that. Well, assuming the loser is Gastelum. Uh, I don't think he's got any chance against
Yeah, I
Robert
hear you.
Whitaker right now.
Yeah, I hear you. I know
It's
that's
just too early.
yeah, the conditions around all this. That's the thing with MMA. It's so much different than any other sport, right? It's so case by case.
Yeah,
It's there's no generalizations. There's no
there's no
blanket.
MMA math.
Yeah, yeah. There's no octagon math. Does not exist. You beat this guy and you beat this guy and this guy lost this guy. It doesn't matter. You still get your ass kicked.
That's
So
right.
it's all stylistic match. That's what I love about the sport. One of the many things I love about the sport. But
True.
yeah, I don't know. I like Adesanya. I personally do want to see more of him.
Hmm.
And I think he's that new generation, of fighters that are going to carry us into the next, 5, 10, even maybe 15 years. Now, this next fight, they already have 3 middleweight fights in this card. And for some reason, they want to put Carl Roberson and Jack Marshman, two unranked middleweights, on a pay-per-view card. Yet they're cool with putting Sinjar Eubanks and Roxanne Modafferi as like the co-main event on the second preliminary card. So
Yeah,
I have no interest in this fight.
I got none either.
Yeah, I think Eubanks and Modafferi got screwed. I really do. This is and what really irks me too is that they're going out of their way right now to try to promote the UFC's women's flyweight division with this Shevchenko Jacek fight coming up. Right now,
Right.
we all know that whole division is only stocked with tough contestants from that season of Tough that had Modafferi and Eubanks and them on it anyways. So they have an opportunity with the Shevchenko Jacek fight coming up. They had an opportunity to put Eubanks and Modafferi on this main card to shine a little bit more spotlight. Plus, Modafferi, I love watching her fight. She's all heart, all hustle, all humble. She's
Yep.
amazing to watch fight. I love her. She's such a grinder. And you look at her and you think, what is this girl doing? And then you look at her in the octagon, and you're like, oh my god, she works. I think she's working out with Syndicate MMA right now.
Okay.
Anyways, so they had a chance to do this, and
Yeah.
it's like the Ben Askren thing. They haven't even made official announcement about that either. The UFC is just baffling me in their marketing lately. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, somebody's definitely dropping the ball over there. Unless there's a game plan that I have no clue, what that could be. I mean, when you've got a nice women's fight, why not showcase it on the main event? I mean, especially like you said, you've got like what, three middleweight fights and
Four,
four.
four.
Sorry, yeah, four. Yeah, because yes, Susan Wyman. Yeah, like who cares about? And I don't even care about this middleweight fight here. Like,
Yeah, Marshman Roberson. I'm not even
yeah,
going to dignify it with a pick.
yeah. I could, and I mean, looking at their records too, like I'm almost looking at it going like, what the hell? Why is somebody with 6 wins fighting somebody with 22?
And it's not like it's a regional thing either, right? Say it was in
Yeah,
South Wales where one of these guys is from. I can't even remember now which guy is from where, but I know one of them is from outside of the country. So let's just
South Wales.
Marshman. So let's just
Yeah.
say say this fight we're in South Wales. Okay, maybe. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Maybe. But still, even then, on a pay-per-view like this, you got to be
Yeah.
kidding. This is
Yeah. They're
ridiculous.
dropping the ball. They're dropping the ball.
Yeah, it's whatever. Just whatever. Come on, Danny, you can do better than that. All right. Maybe the whole Whitey Bulger thing shook them, and they just no. But this fight was made way before that, so yeah, I don't know. This is just I don't understand it. I don't even want to dignify it to any more discussion. All right,
Yeah.
this next fight is another kind of head scratcher, but whatever. We have David Branch, seventh ranked 185 pounder against Jared Cannonier. Now, both of these guys have power, obviously,
Oh yeah.
and Cannonier can be dangerous, but I honestly think this is another fight that's not really worthy of the main card. And how is Adesanya Brunson billed lower than not
In this
only the
fight.
Martian fight, but this fight? You would think
Yeah.
that Adesanya Brunson should be at minimum the third fight, right?
I mean, they must be hoping that there's I
And
don't know, some sort of big KO in this fight just due to styles. I don't know.
and the thing is too is that Cannonier has lost 3 out of his last 4 fights, including 2 straight, and he was knocked out in the first round by Dominic Reyes in May. All right, so he's lost 2 straight, and yet now he's got a top 10 opponent. And
Yeah.
David Branch. I mean,
Happen.
yeah, I don't get it. And if you're David Branch, why the hell would you take this fight? I mean, because it's a pay per view in New York, I guess. He's coming off of a win, and he beat. If my stupid computer will stop flipping around here, he beat Thiago Santos in
Hmm.
a fight, and that was just in April. He lost to Luke Rockhold before that. So
No
he's
shame.
yeah, like what the? Why would
Yeah.
he take this fight?
And why wouldn't they just do Robertson versus Cannonier? Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
mean, they look like they'd be more on a collision path than anything. You got a guy 6-1 coming up. You got this guy who's 10-4, but also, like you said, dropped his last 2 or 3 out of 4. You know,
yeah,
throw those guys together.
and not on the main card, regardless.
Yeah, yeah,
It's funny now that I've been talking about this card all week, and now that we just started talking about the main card, I'm realizing how garbage this is.
yeah. It's terrible.
Like
It's got
it,
2 fights. I looked at it and I was like, I'm looking at it going like I don't even know really what to even say about any of these fights. I mean, who or anybody is anybody
I,
even going to watch them?
I see. I'm personally not going to get the pay per view. Well, at least I'm not going to pay for it.
Right.
And whatever, charge me fraud if you want. I don't give a fuck. But the thing is that I found out you can say that on YouTube because I heard a bunch of people on UFC Embedded saying it today.
Oh,
So if they can say it, why can't we? Right?
of course.
Exactly. So fuck off. All right. So this thing with Weidman though, when he lost the Rockhold fight, as far as I'm concerned, that killed it for me because
Yeah.
I wanted to see the Rockhold Weidman rematch. And then, I understand Hikaru Souza is no joke. He's there for a reason. One of the best ground fighters ever to step in the octagon. I don't care,
Easily.
jiu-jitsu practitioner, yeah, but I'm just saying straight up, I don't care. I'll put him against anybody, wrestler, I don't care. He's lethal. But
Yeah.
it's not the same fight. If you're Chris Weidman, you're coming off that win off Gastelum last July 2017,
Yeah.
and then he had that crazy thumb injury. And so he's been out for whatever, over a year. Weidman's been out, and he gets a chance, and now you get Souza instead of Rockhold. Don't you think that a win over Souza is worth less than a win over Rockhold would have been?
Uh, I mean, yeah, on paper for sure. Like you said though, like beating Jacare is like that's no joke. That guy is an animal. His takedowns are I mean, they're high level. His jiu-jitsu is at the highest level
And
possible.
pretty
And
underrated striker.
and yes, and I was going to say his striking, his boxing in particular, just keeps getting better. So like, man, if you beat Jacare, that's a big win. That's a big win.
I just think that Rockhold, even despite his recent struggles, I think he was more in the title discussion further into it than Jacare is. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Middleweight, it's kind of right now the middleweight divisions. It's kind of like Whitaker, Gastelum, Weidman because he beat Gastelum, and then there's like a second tier, and Rockhold's in that first tier as well. But that's
Yeah.
just my right. I tell you another thing. I was saying this yesterday or whenever to Craig Allen. If there's that one guy in the middleweight division I don't want to cross from, it's Jacare. He is one intimidating looking dude. You know what I mean, though? He just
Yeah,
looks like a viper who's ready to just like squeeze every drop of soul out of you. And I
true.
just eat your soul. Like you wouldn't even be able to. Yeah, I
But
wouldn't want to meet
but
him. I
Chris
need a weapon.
Weidman, man, Chris Weidman's looked across the ring at the most invincible fighter at that time and
That's
era,
why I love him.
and practically spit in his face by taking it to him. So
Do you remember when he hit Anderson Silva with the shot that knocked him out? That didn't look like it was a hard enough punch to flatten anybody.
no,
It
bad
was like,
neck position, bad
yeah,
balance, bad everything that
and
Anderson was in. He caught him.
he was mocking Weidman too. I loved Anderson Silva in his prime,
Me
but when
too.
he started getting lazy in those fights, remember he fight Damian Maya. Some of those fights leading up to the Weidman loss were ridiculously boring, and he would
Yeah,
not engage, and people were booing him. He was being a real prick
yeah.
for before he lost the belt. So I had already whatever. And Weidman kind of came out of nowhere. I can beat this guy. I got the formula to beat this guy. I mean,
Well,
yeah,
he
I
had
can't. I
everything
still,
that Chael Sonnen had, and
yep.
then better striking.
And yeah, a little bit more reach, a little bit better athlete, a little bit younger,
A
a
little
lot
younger,
younger.
better
A lot,
jujitsu, way better jujitsu, I should say, way
yeah,
better.
I love Chris Weidman. I gotta be honest. I always have. I just like the way he does things. He does things the right way. He's someone that younger people can look up to. And I
Sure.
saw embedded. He's been working out a lot with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and Stephen
Hmm.
Wonderboy Thompson, who's been in him with a couple camps now. He said today that Weidman looks better than he ever has seen him, ever. Now, whether
Well,
that's in
yeah,
camp bullshit,
yeah.
whatever. But he does look very, very good. He looks confident, and yeah, he's got the home field advantage too. He's fighting in New York again. This is his fourth fight. That's like Yankee Stadium for him.
Well, and I mean, really, I mean, looking at this fight, um, you look at it and you kind of say, well, both of these guys like the ground. Jacare obviously a little more than Weidman, but Weidman's got that wrestling. Um, I mean, for Weidman, I think this matchup, although it looks very similar on paper, I think it'll actually favor him. The only thing I kind of question, like I feel like his stand-up technique will be better than Jacare's, and I feel like this fight will stay on the feet for the most part. Um,
So
I
you're
just wonder if he can take Jacare's shots.
so who do
I
you,
know,
if you had to pick, like you say, you had to bet like your house.
yeah.
All right, like who would you bet it on?
Um, I think if I had to, I would go Weidman, and I just think. He's got such a big heart. I don't think he'll allow this fight to the ground, and I think he will beat him standing up.
Plus, Gastelum is no joke on the ground, and he submitted Gastelum in his last fight, and I mean that's no easy task.
No,
So yeah, I'm with you. I'm on Weidman, but I tell you what, I think you and I are in the minority. because everybody else I've been talking to all week, a lot of colleagues, people I work with, think that he's got no shot and he's in serious trouble. And I don't get that.
Where do they think he's going to lose?
The
That's what
ground.
I'm.
They think the ground, and they think he's going to take his striking too lightly, and he's going to get put down. He's going to get Khabib'd. They
No,
basically think he's going to get Khabib'd,
no. I'll tell
which
you this right now. That will not happen.
not to an All American wrestler, it won't.
Yeah, sorry, man. No, that will not happen. I'll say this right now. That will not happen. You will not see Weidman on his backs getting a mud
Yeah,
hole stomped
careful
in him.
backing out of what you were just about to put that on
What's
uh,
that?
on video. Just pump the brakes there, because that could be get yourself in trouble. But I hear, I feel you. This is ridiculous. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I got every time I feel like I have a gut feeling that I know it's going to be one way. Then all of a sudden it'll be like something like Jack Ray will knock him out in the first 10 seconds or something, and then I'll look like an idiot again, and people will be like, "How the hell is this guy doing this for a living?" And so, you know what I
Well, that
mean?
can happen, man, and that's MMA too, right? But like I said, the only thing that makes me question Weidman is can he take Jacare's shots standing? But I think Weidman's stand up is better. I think it's
Yeah.
slightly better,
Oh
but
yeah,
it's better.
yeah. And also, Jacare is a good puncher, but he's
Yeah.
not a good. He's not as good with his legs, and he's definitely not as good with his legs as Chris Weidman is. All right,
No.
let's move on to this circus of a main event.
Oh God.
This is I love Derek Lewis. It's hard not to. He's great to watch. He's great to whatever. But even he said after knocking out Volkov, Joe Rogan asked him, "Title shot your next fight?" No way, not with this cardio, not ready yet, whatever. 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, he gets he's got his USADA medical suspension lesson from 1 month to 3 weeks. Now he's got a title shot simply basically because Cormier doesn't have anybody else to fight right now. I don't know. Do you think there's any real chance he's got the? I know he's got a puncher's chance, but really, I mean, really,
I I don't see this fight going any other way than Cormier dominating him. What I will say though is I don't know if Cormier can finish Derek Lewis. I think if he does, it'll be by submission. I don't think he'll TKO
yeah,
stoppage him.
yeah, I
He'll
agree.
catch him on a sub. But I don't. I'm not even 100% sure that will happen. Although I do think DC in every facet of fighting is a better fighter than Derek Lewis. Like there's nowhere that Derek Lewis is better than him, other than the fact that he can at any point in time knock somebody out. So the only way I see Derek Lewis getting a win, and this is, and I'd be thinking about if I was DC, was it's late in the fifth round. I've just beat the crap out of this guy for 4.5 rounds or something, and for whatever reason we're still standing. Then I'd be like, okay,
Yeah,
let's not screw this up.
I think DC's just too fast. I
Yeah,
think he, as John Jones said today in the press conference, he is a lot quicker than he looks. And I think he's going to press the action to a point very early that Lewis is going to get gassed very early. Regardless, he does look great. Lewis does look better than I've seen him. And there is a theory that, there holds some weight where, yeah, he fought only a month ago, but a guy like that who's struggling with cardio, it's better to keep him super active. And if he didn't take damage in the Volkov fight, which we know he didn't really take any damage, then we could see the best Derek Lewis in terms of his cardio. However, the best Derek Lewis cardio at this point is not going to be anything close to what he needs to step up to Cormier. This is an Olympic athlete, and I don't think Cormier can knock him out. I think he could get a TKO win, like a ground and pound, where the ref just stops it. Like he get him to the ground and just hit him like
you
that.
think so?
Oh yeah, not because Lewis is out though, not because he finishes Lewis, because some ref stops it before. I could see Cormier getting top position on him against the fence and just drilling him a bunch of times. Lewis eating them willingly, and the ref just stopping it probably a little prematurely. I could see that for sure.
See, Lewis is such like I don't think his ground game is all that great, and I can see in that situation where, and I mean we'll see I guess tomorrow night, but Cormier gets a dominant position on him, starts pounding on him, and I think you'll see Derek Lewis turn over,
Oh yeah,
um, which is why I think a submission could happen where he could get his neck snatched up. I don't think once he takes too many shots and the ref's yelling at him to move and he knows he can't get out, like he can't escape. I think he'll turn over and just try to stand up, and then I think that's when he could get choked out.
did you see him tap?
I don't know. I've never seen him tap, but
I don't. I always think of Holly Holm, and I love Holly Holm, and I always think of her when she was submitted by Misha Tate, and on her back, and she was just swinging at the air like she didn't even know. Like Misha Tate had her in that rear naked choke, and
yeah,
there's certain breed of MMA fighters who will just refuse to tap
yep,
regardless.
yeah,
Frank Mir broke Tim Sylvia's arm.
yeah,
Oh, well, I mean, and I think that's kind of an idiotic theory at this level, just because everybody who's fighting in the octagon has already proven that they deserve to be there. So I don't think, it's really at any point. You're not in some dojo, fighting one of Bruce Lee's enemies or whatever it's not that these are professional athletes. It doesn't need to do that. But I get that I've never been in that situation. So I don't have the perspective that you have, because
the only time I would say that it's okay to go like that, I think would be to go out on your shield like that at that level, is to like some sort of choke.
so you
Because
think McGregor
if
shouldn't have
what's that?
think that neck crank that Khabib laid on Conor McGregor shouldn't have made him tap. You think McGregor should have toughed that out too?
Uh, Neck crank. Okay, sorry. Neck crank is a little different. I know he was gassed and he didn't want to fight anyways anymore at that point. And I
But,
wouldn't want my neck all jacked up for the next 6 months.
but do you think it's a knock against Conor for him tapping?
Uh, you know what? He's a quitter. That's my only thing. He's a quitter. He taps. He gets tapped because he quits in
Yeah.
fights.
Yeah, and when
So
he was taken down, like you could see whatever Khabib was doing, it was doing damage, but he wasn't flustered. He just
no,
quit. He just like
quit.
Khabib takes him down. He balanced, he everything, but he just no. You're right. He seems to just get to a point where he's like, "Fuck it, I'm done."
Yep. He does. I mean, even in the Diaz fight, I'm stand like the very first time they fought. Okay, let's stand. I'll knock you out. I'll knock you out. I'll knock you out. Oh wait, you just hit me and I'm dizzy, and now I'm shooting in for a takedown like I've been D1 wrestling for the last, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Oh, I hate the desperation shoot in for take. I hate the desperation takedown attempts. They're
Oh
they're
yeah.
painful to watch. They're painful to watch.
Oh, and when
Like
a Diaz stuffs your takedown, you know you got no takedowns.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're great on their back, and they're definitely superior ground fighters, but they're not the greatest to take down defense. They go down like
That's it.
little shrubbery trees, the twigs that they are. But
Yeah.
hey, it'd be great if we could get a Diaz back in the octagon anytime soon. But
Oh
going back to UFC, oh god, that'd be so great. Maybe we get them fight each other. Wouldn't that be great?
yeah.
I
Well, the
would.
way that Ben Askren's calling out people, it could be one of the Diaz brothers. You never know.
That would be great. I'd be okay with that for his first fight.
I'm all right with that too.
Would do you think that's a main event worthy pay per view?
Ooh.
Askren against either Diaz brother.
Nick Diaz, sure.
Really?
Nate, I don't know, but yeah,
I don't.
main event, sure, as long as the card wasn't like a crappy one like this.
Yeah, I was saying earlier today too that I think that if Askren were to fight, say Robbie Lawler, or Darren Till, or whoever, I don't think it's main event. I don't think the UFC would think that it was main event worthy. They
No.
they seem to only do these title fights all of a sudden now. It's like every card's got to have a title fight. We got to get away, and they got to start putting some of these lesser divisions like the women's flyweight division and stuff like that, or whatever division, the men's flyweight division. Let those title fights be on the fight night cards in the main events if they're not selling pay per views. I don't get why the hell
Sure.
they don't do that. But
Yeah.
all right, now I'm just rambling. All right, so basically we're both on Cormier, and we think this whole thing with Lewis is pretty much ridiculous.
Pretty sham. Pretty much a sham.
Yeah. So okay, so I'm gonna be looking for a free feed on tomorrow's pay per view because I'm not dropping $70 on that.
Oh hell no.
But yeah, no. But we do have a card next weekend with the Cerrone Mike Perry main event in Denver and his UFC's 25th anniversary card. So that should be interesting, especially considering Mike Perry's recent extracurricular activities. So I'm sure we'll hear some more genius coming out of his camp.
Oh god.
Um, and yeah, interesting to see how Cerrone's going to perform, not having worked out with Jackson Wink this entire camp.
Yeah.
So we will be back next week to discuss that. We got 2 episodes out this week. I told you we would. I told you. See, we hit the ground running again, and now all of our millions of fans are going to know they can rely on us again.
That's
We went
right.
away. There was huge depression and desperation without us. Now we're back. 2 episodes. That's it. I'm telling you, you're gonna have to change phone numbers, emails, addresses. Kids are gonna have to change schools. It's just around the corner, brother. All
That's
right.
right, man.
this has been another fantastically amazing episode of All Five Rounds, and we will please follow us on Twitter at DLoucks21. I got to talk to you about Twitter after, anyways.
Okay.
And is that your Twitter handle?
No, I
At
think
DLoucks?
just at Daren Loucks.
Yeah, there you go. You think. See, this is half the problem. You need to know. You're in the MMA media game. Twitter's our lifeblood, whether we like it or not.
It's
You can
at
find my
Daren
stuff.
Loucks.
Yeah, and please give them a follow because this is ridiculous. We got to build up our millions of followers here pretty quick. Show's running on fumes. Uh, and But you can get me at Above the Full Tie. Obviously, me and Craig Allen do stuff on Dialogue. Give Craig Allen FNP a follow. Also, Kristen King MMA, and check out our preview from the Toctagon last night on this YouTube channel. And we're gonna figure out some stuff. And I'm gonna study this open broadcasting software, and we're gonna have graphics, like real graphics, so it doesn't just look like two guys hanging out in a frat house. This is gonna look like what's gonna look like. We're gonna have like fighters' names and an intro. It's gonna be beautiful. All right, so we will all talk to you later. Thanks for watching after the fact, and enjoy this weekend's card.
All right.